I'm denying everything. I don't know what
You
it
deny
takes, but I'm denying
I
everything.
watched the last stream that you guys did, and Amish was roasting the courses pretty hard, and I was like, oh, it feels bad, man, because I'm not there to say anything.
So now you're here, though. Let's just address the courses at the top, and then we
okay.
can move on from there. We can get into the fun stuff. Because I'm
I
calling
don't
this
remember my
stream,
roast.
I'm calling it, because this is the title, what I eventually want to get to, Finding Happiness with Joshua Fluke. Now, I'll explain what that means in a second. We're going to find happiness with the chat together, all of us. We're going to go over a little bit of corporate cringe, too. But it's going to be a fun one. But first, let's address the courses, because you sell the courses, and you know, Josh, how we feel about courses.
Right.
Look,
So talk
I'm
to
an
us.
under $100 kind of guy, but go ahead.
But you want me to start? Okay, so I think the difference is I'm not promising anyone any money. I'm not selling them any like get rich quick. I'm not telling them how to make money. The differences are just like things that I would want to know that I couldn't figure out how to do. So I made a course for it. Now, Coffee says that it would be better if they were in a book, but I couldn't find a book that had all the info. So
that's okay. Now, Fluke, hold on. I said it was better if they were priced like a book. Like, I think the price of $197 is ridiculous. But one thing I'll say about it is that I did look through a couple of your courses, and you do not say that you're going to make people a ton of money. Yep. So my usual problem with people, which is the fraudulent advertising, isn't there. I do take issue with the price, but we're going to just have to agree to disagree there, because I think, and I think it's fine if we do. I don't think it's the end of the world.
You're not supposed to like talk about your pricing anyways, but
Yeah,
it's
there
all
you go.
good.
Hey, I'm an under $100 course kind of guy. I've taken so many under $100 courses.
Sure.
Over 100, I don't have it right now. I just stole a bunch of Mind Valleys, and I feel terrible about it. But you know, I think I will. I'm growing on the idea, because you know, a lot of your videos though are about how college is so hard to do right now for a lot of young people. So do you think it's weird to have that message and then have the courses on sale at the same time? Do you think that maybe some people might be coming in and losing their last $300, or would you close them, or would you be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this right now?
No, definitely don't buy it if you can't afford it. Like the business one is like, I don't know. I probably spent maybe 5-6 times that to learn how to open it. So I was like, I guess I'll just sell that for what I would pay now if I wanted to do it.
Yeah, my thing is just like, can we get back to the I think college is overpriced. Let me start there, because if you're going to say like college is overpriced, I'll actually agree with you there. I think it's still worth the value, but I think it's overpriced. I think we need to get back to a place where education is affordable to the point where we know most people don't implement what they learn, but if they don't lose their shirts on it. They're not losing a ton of money. And so I feel like some of these courses, it's like you can maybe try to just justify it by saying like, oh, well, it's like all packed in here. But when you look at the price of education traditionally, and now people are trying to charge $200, $300, $500, $700, $1,000, $2,000, like it's like you start to ascend the slope of insanity, and it starts to look predatory. But you're saying I don't promise people to get rich, so people just buy it if they want to buy it.
Don't buy it. I have a bunch of free stuff on the other website. So I have the courses, and then I have like the downloads, which is a bunch of free stuff. But like,
to be fair, there's 4 free courses. There's 4 free and 3 paid, from what I just saw. Yeah. 4 of them were free, and then 3 of them were like 100, 200, 300, basically 97, 197, 297.
Right.
I mean, it's reasonable. I think we have an issue with people getting into like these $10,000 and you'll be rich, or like 5,000. I've seen 5,000.
I just think all this stuff of like some random person throwing up a course and charging $197, I still think it's so dumb. I think it's such a weird, unique system that like courses have justified themselves charging at $200 because everyone else is charging $2,000. I think it's so strange. But like I said, we could talk about that forever. That's not why I had you on the show. I'm having
happiness.
Yeah, and actually, why are we having you on the show? How did we come across each other, Josh?
So you can get away with, well, you just call out the scammers, right? And I can't exactly call a legitimate company a scammer, but I can say they're disingenuous in how they do business, or how they hire people, or stuff like that. So I call out the fakeness of the corporate world. You call out the fakeness of the scammers. I think that's why I watch you, because it's like very similar to see you.
We do actually do a very similar kind of grind, because you're calling out what you call corporate cringe, but that's more the entertainment side. Really what you're doing is you're calling out how some companies are exploiting the fact that like there's a ton of people looking for jobs and they're charging insane like amounts of work for almost no pay. It's insulting.
Yeah,
right?
Like they'll hire the 2-for-1, like the classic. It'll be one job description, but it's actually like 2 or 3 jobs in that one job description. So they just want to hire one person, do 3 things, and everybody wants the job to get their foot in the door. So they're desperate and they do it. And you know, sometimes you need money, so you got to do what you got to do. But also, it's crappy that they do that.
Dude, Vice doesn't even pay sometimes. Like Jim Norton, I think he's a stand-up comedian. He did a thing for Vice, and Vice is very much like this. They just get young, desperate people who are trying to get in the game, and they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you $25 for an article." And these people will write an article that's like, "I'm calling someone out, and I think this is her," like whatever. Like they've paid people even in Toronto like $25, $50, and then sometimes they don't even pay. So there is something predatory about new like that new tech world online.
Well, especially new jobs, like where people are trying to get, like you said, it's when people are trying to get their foot in the door, they don't have any options. So I saw one of your videos. It was like they're offering $5,000 a year and 1% like 0.1% equity in their company.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's so ridiculous. That's so absurd.
Yeah.
People think that like that's what they have to do to get their foot in the door, and I'm like, just make your own company and employ yourself underneath that company and put that on your resume and give yourself the endorsement at that rate. Like at least maybe one day you'll make money on your own stuff, because they walk away with everything there.
So, and when you're getting paid this much, are you living in San Fran? Like, are these guys living in San Fran, or like how expensive is it to live and to be able to survive off that kind of money?
See, that's the issue that I have. It's like, how do you pay bills? Like you can't take my 0.01% equity and swipe that at the store for food. It doesn't. I don't get it.
Have you ever been to San Francisco?
Yeah.
Okay, this is my question. I went there, all I could ask the entire time, I just kept going up to people and asking them this. How do you guys have Starbucks workers? How do you have McDonald's workers? Who's working the regular jobs that don't pay anything, because this place is so expensive to live in?
Yeah.
And what you learn actually is most of them are living in their cars, or they have some like weird arrangement where they're like splitting a 1-person bedroom between 4 people. It's like I guess the desperation to live in those like cool cities overrides like the desire for anything else. I mean, it's crazy to me. They have all these stores paying nothing, and then but the workers still show up. I don't understand.
I think why it's so hot is because you see the number at the job. You see the 6-figure salaries for all the Silicon Valley companies. What you don't see is the purchasing power. And you don't see the cost of living. They just see 6 figures and they're like, I get paid $150,000. But that doesn't matter when your rent is $4,500 a month.
Like,
yeah.
And you have to have roommates.
Yeah, that's really disgusting.
Anyone I know who had to go to work on like SNL or whatever, Saturday Night Live, they were saying that like the whole paycheck, like the rent is just like $100,000, and then you got to travel to and from work every day. So it's like you just live to do that. That's it. And that's how Manhattan works. They're trying to make San Fran like that too, I guess. Do you think some of these Starbucks workers are just people with these internships and then they're like, I got to go to Starbucks to make a living? Because when I went, they just seemed like, middle-class kids.
They either drive, they either commute from like San Jose or something, which is a little bit cheaper, or they have like 6 roommates and they're all sharing rooms with like 3 people in a room, because that's how you have to do it there. Like there's rent control in places like San Jose just so that people can live.
Yeah, so this is
well, now it's all dying. I mean, to be fair, things are changing now where everyone's moving out of San Francisco, rinse, dive bombing. It's never been a better time to get into San Francisco, to be honest.
California is done. Everyone's saying exodus. Everyone's like leaving California right now. It's just nonstop on YouTube.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, it's just so expensive to live there. Like they just have a lot of taxes, and the cost of living is just, I don't know, but people use it as like a stepping stone because they want the Silicon Valley company on their resume to show off to another company. But even the people that are leaving, like Facebook, right? Facebook, if you want to live in Nebraska where it costs nothing to live in a mansion, they know that. So they're not going to pay you Silicon Valley salaries, even if you live in Nebraska. Like companies are starting to do that, and people are getting pissed off that they're doing that. And it's like, they're not going to continue to pay $200,000 if they know that it costs you $900 a month.
So what's your message to people though? Because you call out corporate cringe, you call out all this stuff. Is the solution to, everyone becomes an entrepreneur and like makes YouTube videos? What is the solution? What do these people do?
Right. So
asking the tough questions here, Amish, since you won't. You're over there.
I know. No.
Kiss it up to old Fluke.
Today's going to make Steven mad because I agree with Joshua on a lot of stuff. And Steven, I feel like you're a little on corporate side on this particular.
I'm a little more corporate. Yeah.
I think that the message on the channel is there's two routes, right? You can go do your own thing, or you can go the corporate route. If you go the corporate route, you have to understand this is how it works. This is what they can do. This is how they can give you a list of job descriptions on the application. You take that job, and then when you get the job, they can totally change it on you. Is that legal? But it's fraud if you lie on your resume, or if you change.
But Steven loves it. He's big Mr. Corporate. Look how he made himself big on this.
I was feeling insecure with Josh. Business. Josh is so much. I'm sick of these interview guests being so much larger than they did. I'm being called a hobbit in chat. People are saying I'm from the Shire. It's disgusting.
But this is very much you trying to get ready.
It's very hobbitophobic. And
Steven loves the corporations. He's very much like.
No, listen. I just think 9-to-5 jobs are good for most people. Most people need a 9-to-5 job. Most people are better off. And entrepreneurship is tough. I mean, it's hard. It's not secure. It's got a lot of cons to it. There are a lot of pros where you get rid of these awful bosses, these awful people, HR people that you're always talking about. But at the same time, what's the alternative to that crappy office life? Is it that's my question. What
basically you just have to
tell us, Josh. Tell us the government, dude. Step it in. But
you just have to play the game. That's all there is. There's a corporate game. You either play it or you get played at companies, and that's how it works. It's not everyone should just quit and be a YouTuber. Sometimes you just need a job. You got to do what you got to do. I just think that there's a lot about corporate world that they don't teach you in college. They're just preparing you how to be an employee. They're not preparing you for what it really looks like. The different politics. It's so much more political and so much more gray area than people think it is. And that's what I try to tell people, that are you can go this way, but this is how it works, or you can go this way, and this is how it works.
Yeah. And honestly, that's why I changed my mind. I did honestly change my opinion on you, because first I did kind of feel like, okay, he's charging you for these courses. But then I saw your video with your parents. It's you do work, you do get your shit done, and you're still saying hey, this is I think it's good guidance. Even the $200 class for if you're a 20-year-old and you don't know how to make a resume. I don't know, man. I mean, I don't want to be on your channel just promoting his course, but it's they need that a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Some people need it. Some people need that little bit of guidance. And so this thing of how to watch yourself in the corporate environment.
$200? It's too much. The resume templates, though, they're $30. Somebody was ripping on your resume templates in my chat, though. Oh,
yeah. They say it looks like I think I saw it. It was on your post that you put on YouTube.
I asked people to ask questions, and he goes, "Hey, Josh, why is the resume on your portfolio on your store worth $30?"
Made by a 6-year-old.
Okay,
right?
but
that hurts your feelings. You got to admit that hurts. That's mean.
I read it last night, and I was like, "Oof." Well, who gets to decide if it looks like a 6-year-old? Simple is good. One page is good. If it works, it works. So you can go get a bunch of free ones, no doubt about that.
Yeah.